Hello, everybody. First time doing a YouTube live. I didn't really feel like editing, putting a video together and editing the whole thing and all that garbage. I just wanted to get this out there. Got to get all my aggression. Where's the lights here? It's kind of. Let me just turn those lights on here real quick. Turn those lights on real quick. So let's get some people in here and so I got 12,000 subscribers, 12,700 subscribers. Meanwhile, my video is only getting 200 views. So if you don't think, if you guys don't think that YouTube's playing games, they definitely are. YouTube is full of games to play. I've got 12,700 subscribers. Meanwhile, I'll be lucky if my videos get even 300 views. If they get 400 or 500 views, it's a good day. It's a good day. Anyways, so let's get this started. So what I'm going to talk about today here is coronavirus, COVID-19, and it's insane. So let's do all of North America went into lockdown phase, including here in Vancouver, Canada, just the same as the United States and everywhere else. And for the last 4 months, we've essentially been locked down. Everything shut down, pretty much destroyed business. It's deadly. Stay home, stay safe. Wear your masks, wear your gloves, and shit your pants anytime you go out. That's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to think. So after the initial lockdown of the coronavirus, then probably, what is it? Maybe a month ago, a little more than that, maybe, George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis at the hands of the Minneapolis Police Department. We all know the story. After that, they had the riots. The protests turned into riots, and essentially now we're back into coronavirusville, where things are starting to ramp up again with that. So when the protests were happening, when the riots were happening, you didn't hear it. You'd have to listen to the news for at least 15 to 20 minutes for them to even talk about anything COVID-19 related. It took at least 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes were simply to talk about George Floyd, how everybody's racist, white people are bad, and all this just bullshit on top of BS. We had to hear about that. And then after that, you might hear a little bit about COVID-19. But it took a little while for it to actually take place. And then after that, so what? We're after the George Floyd riots and stuff like that. Then last week we had the statues. The statues were being removed. Aunt Jemima was renamed. A couple other things. Shattering records in Florida and in Texas and Arizona. So does anyone see what's going on here? We boom, 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 boom. And it just blows your mind. Wow, oh my God, I can't believe COVID-19. You shit your pants, everything's closed. Wow, I can't believe they killed George Floyd. You shit your pants. Everyone has a heart attack over that. Oh my God, they're rioting. I can't believe how racist the United States is. Everyone shits their pants. Oh my God, look at all these statues. We've got to take them all down. And then there was Chaz, of course, that stupid Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle that was just, I guess they were starting to dismantle it couple days ago after two black people, or is it two, at least one black person and two people overall were murdered, killed in this Chaz Antifa zone in Seattle. And like I said, now we're back into COVID-19. That's the big one now. Now we're back into COVID-19, and that's taken over the media airwaves again. Once again, Florida is shattering records and all this stuff. I'm like, think of it again. Not everybody. There's a lot more people who don't understand. You're being played like a fucking idiot. Like, holy shit. When are you going to start cluing in instead of reacting emotionally to everything? When will logic set in? First of all, okay, we're talking about COVID-19. All of a sudden, we're shattering records, right? We're shattering records now. Doesn't anybody ask any questions? Doesn't anybody want to understand you're being played? This is 4 months into it now. All of a sudden, we're shattering records. What are you talking about? We were locked down for 3.5 months. And now all of a sudden, just you open it up a little bit. Now we're shattering records. Oh my God, look at all these cases. Record breaking cases in Florida and Arizona and Texas and some other states. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, so the records are getting shattered, but no one looks at the number of deaths, which are going down constantly. So if you take a breath, go back a bit, look at things from a big perspective. Look at things from a bigger perspective. What do you see? You look at things in a different limelight. Instead of looking at this in an emotional limelight, look at it from a logical perspective. Now, they're telling us, if you look at the news, okay, record-breaking cases. Okay, let's believe that for a minute. Record-breaking cases. Why aren't they talking about the deaths? Why are there not record-breaking deaths? Because there is none. First of all, maybe the tests are tainted. Maybe. We can't prove that. I can't prove that. Or maybe the cases are all real. Either way, okay, if the cases are real, then that means that if they're testing way more people now, that means that way more people had COVID-19 coronavirus all along. That means that the percentage of people dying is much, 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 much less than we were led to believe, proving that this whole thing is way overblown, proving that this whole thing is BS, and it means that it's not nearly as deadly as people think, and it's not nearly as deadly as the media and all governments across the world wanted us to believe. Because if way more people have it and the death rates are going down, well, what the fuck? That means this whole thing is just BS. And if they're testing more people, and they're using bogus testing equipment, that means that this whole thing's a fraud. So even if they're lying or they're not lying, it really doesn't matter because they're still lying. Why? Because the cases are blowing up. Okay, who cares if the cases are blowing up? I don't give a shit. If no one's really getting sick and if no one's actually dying from it, it means it's all bullshit, right? And then if you start looking, like I've researched this stuff for hours and hours and hours upon end. I'm actually sick of talking about it, and I was like pretty pissed off today. I didn't even want to look at the news or anything like that. But when they start talking about shattered records and stuff like that, this is the time I got to make another video just to point out the truth, in my opinion, as to what I see is really going on. And it's just proving more and more this is a hoax. This whole thing is illegitimate from day one. And the problem is, from their perspective, yeah, it is a fraud. Hi, easy breezy. It is a fraud. And the thing is, they need to keep the fear. They have to ramp up the fear. And how they do that, now, they're always thinking of ways. They want to keep it in the limelight, right? First of all, they had it in the limelight. Then the George Floyd murder and kind of took the limelight away from it. But they need to keep this whole thing in the limelight until they can get their vaccine available. Personally, I think their bullshit vaccine is already available. I think it was available even before this BS COVID-19 hoax started, in my opinion. For the simple reason is because this is a calculated pandemic. It's not, in my opinion, a real thing. This is not real whatsoever. Sure, it's some kind of virus. It's some kind of cold. Thanks to Power of Spirit, we'll keep up the good work. I'm trying to get the word out as much as I can. Appreciate everyone's support. It's just the thing's overblown. It's a flu. Sure, there's people dying. Sure. Once again, let's look at the fucking numbers. Who's dying? Who the hell is dying? They tell you all the information if you read the news articles. No one reads news articles. Everyone looks at the everybody looks at the titles. They look at the title of the news article and they're like, I'm informed. I don't need to read the news article. Guess what? Read their bullshit news articles because they actually tell you what's going on. The biggest group of people dying, like I said in other videos, are the elderly in healthcare homes. These people had already underlying issues. No offense to anyone in healthcare homes. No offense to anyone who has parents in healthcare homes. I'm trying to be logical here, not emotional. There's a difference. It's okay to be honest. I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I guess I have to because certain people get very emotional when they tell the truth. That's your problem. I'm trying to trying to space out the fear from the emotion, okay? The fear from the BS. I want the truth, even if it hurts people. Now, the people dying have underlying issues. The people are in healthcare homes. These people, unfortunately, would be on their way out, meaning they would be dying. That's why they're in healthcare homes. They can no longer take care of themselves. And if they have other underlying issues like different respiratory problems, different heart issues, and diabetes, stuff like this, you need to understand, guys. You need to understand that these people they don't have a long life, and for us to get hysterical about this overblown flu is beyond ridiculous. We've been in this whole thing now 4 months. Okay, 4 months. Now all of a sudden we've got these massive spikes. No one asked questions. What are you talking about? First of all, we stayed home for the last 3.5 months. Now we're wearing fucking masks everywhere. People are wearing gloves. It's hysteria times 1,000. And you want me to believe that this is gonna be wave two. So this is wave two now. We're in wave two of this bullshit. Now records are getting shattered across the United States. No one understands that this is all a hoax. No one gets it. Like the thing is, you got to realize, okay, even if we give them the shadow of the doubt that there's way more cases now, in 2 weeks from now, there should be way more deaths. But guess what? There's not going to be way more deaths. And if there is, that means there's some really funny bullshit going on because this whole thing is BS from day one. And they simply have to keep the fear porn going. They have an agenda here if you haven't figured it out. Like I said before in other videos, this is going to be the craziest year in all of our lives because they're going for broke, guys. They are going for broke in this year. First of all, it's an election year. I'm doing a video, yes? No. Sorry about that. Anyways, so this is an election year, and at first I didn't really want to think or believe that this was connected to Donald Trump, and I'm not 100% sure if it is, but the more you look at the situation, the more ridiculous the whole thing seems. Like, are they pulling this whole fraud partly because it's an election year and they're pulling out all the stops so Donald Trump does not get elected for a second time? A lot of Canadians up here are complete morons, and they think that all Americans hate Trump. And you just have to use a little bit of common sense, which not many people have anymore, and think if Trump got elected, it means that a lot of people do like him. I know the popular vote did go to Hillary Clinton, but based on the Electoral College, Donald Trump did win. But this time around, he's had 4 years to change things. He's brought the economy back, and even this month, today or yesterday, the resurgence of jobs, a lot of jobs came back. So he's doing a fantastic job. Love him or hate him, I don't really give a shit. But just look at things from a common sense perspective, and you start understanding that things don't make sense. Are they doing all this stuff? Is this whole COVID-19 hoax simply to bring down Donald Trump? Is that what it's all about? Is that what it's all about? Probably, because if they bring down the United States, it's going to be a lot easier to take down the rest of the world with them. At this point, the United States is the only beacon of free, free freedom in the world. Here in Canada, sure, we have a form of freedom, but we have our dipshit, scumbag, crooked, New World Order puppet, Justin Trudeau, who from he looks like Castro's son to me from the memes that I've seen. I'm not going to say he is, but he definitely looks like him. And I know his mom had what they call an affair with Castro. I'm not sure if that actually happened or not. But anyways, that's a whole different topic. Bottom line here is this whole thing is a hoax, and it's getting perpetrated once again. They're trying to ramp up the fear again, saying that records are getting shattered across the United States. Funny enough, because if you start looking at what's happening in Canada, they're actually Justin Trudeau came out and said we're doing very good, and there's been a very massive decline in the amount of corona cases here. So now everywhere across the world, everything's going down. All the corona cases are going down across the world. But for some reason, everything's spiking in the United States. Once again, leads me to believe that I don't think the powers that ought not to be, the people behind the scene, the deep state, want Donald Trump reelected. How is it that the United States is doing so poorly, but everywhere else across the world is doing much better? And then you look at a place like China, these guys are miraculously, everything's open in China once again. It's just, the whole thing is just so stupid. It's embarrassing that I have to do these videos. I'm not a professional journalist, but instead of taking the anger out, yelling at people in grocery stores, which sometimes I do, if they start pissing me off, I have zero empathy for these fucking idiots that I run into everywhere, wearing masks and gloves, driving in their cars by themselves, walking around outside by themselves, just walking around completely in fear. They make me sick. These people are a huge, massive part of the problem. If they didn't acquiesce, if they didn't fall for the scam, nothing would be happening. If you guys want to know how the world works, if you don't want to do something, just don't do it. If everybody didn't follow rules, guess what? There wouldn't be any rules. I'm not saying I want full anarchy. I'm telling just trying to make people understand. Wake the fuck up. You don't need to follow all these stupid rules and these little mandates. Just do whatever the hell you want. I've gone into Costco and they're asking me to put a mask on. I say, no, I don't want to do that. And I just walk straight in. They don't say anything. These people who work in these grocery stores, they don't want to take the time to confront people like me who look pissed off. Do you think they want to sit there and get in a physical fight with customers? Sure, they'll try. They might try to make it seem like that you have to do it, but you don't have to do shit. Do whatever you want. Don't listen to these dipshits because all they're doing is perpetrating and boosting up this bullshit fraud. It makes me sick that people actually believe this garbage. It's ridiculous. It's stupid and it's ruining our world. We're all going to get through this. I know we will. And all these people who went along with these stupid orders, I mean, every single person, people who wore masks, people who yelled at other people, all these dumb Karens, these COVIDiot Karens, telling people to wear masks, these people driving around with masks, all these grocery stores implementing all these rules. You're going to look like morons in the end when it comes out this whole thing was the biggest medical hoax in world history. Because that's all it is. This whole thing's a hoax. And now we're on to, I don't know if they actually said it's wave two, but this is wave two of BS to me when they're talking about records shattering. Okay, records shattering. Let them shatter all they want. The only thing I want to shatter is your fucking jaw. That's what I want to shatter with these stupid stories in the news. It's all over the place. Like, this stuff is like clockwork. Like, they work, it's like a cog on a wheel or a spike on a wheel or no, a spoke on a wheel. Everything works together, and together the media machine pushes one story after another, and people continue to fall for the bullshit. And it's gonna have to end eventually. Like I said, okay, now we've got these records going on now. Um, it's blowing up now. They got to close down Florida again. I was supposed to go to Florida on vacation this month. I was supposed to go to this month. Thank you. Yeah, I like the hat. But I was supposed to go to Florida this month. I'm glad I didn't. Well, I can't because I'm in Canada. I can't even get a flight out there. With all this stuff, I'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks in the United States, and everything's going to be closed. There's a curfew at 9 p.m., so the whole thing is just garbage. This will end, and it's going to take a little bit of time because people just don't want to believe that this thing is fake. It's a fraud. Like I said, we've been in our houses for so many months now, and everyone's been following these orders from whatever they've given us. Now that we just open up just a little bit, oh no, oh my God, oh my God, the cases are blowing up. Are you kidding me? Who falls for this shit? How can you fall for this shit? How can so now all these people are freaking out, and I have these stupid comment wars. I should stop not even doing it where I go on to like different websites like CNBC and MSN, and you leave comments saying this is all BS, and I get into like comment wars where I have a war with people in the comment section, and these people basically are just fighting for their own destruction. It's just sad. It's sad and ridiculous. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? You're fighting for your own demise. What are you thinking at this point, believing this ridiculousness? Like, when are you going to stop? Most of these people, when the vaccines become available, which they say are going to be probably at the end of this year, are going to take them. And that's going to be the biggest mistake they will ever do in their life because you have no clue what's in that shit. They're probably going to have the digital ID in there with all the nano chip technologies to track you. And they probably could have COVID-19 in there, which yeah, they do need the live virus, a small part of it. But they're gonna have a virus in there, that's, who knows, it could kill people. I don't know. Do you? I don't know. Why would we take this shot? Anyways, they're gonna have to keep all this propaganda ramped up. They'll ramp it up, they'll bring it up, and they'll bring it back down. Ramp it up, bring it back down until the vaccine is available. That's why they're calling this the new normal. This whole thing is the new normal until they bring out their vaccine, which they say is going to be later this year, near the end of the year. Then at that time, if you take the vaccine, you'll be able to go back to your normal life. If you don't, then, well, you're probably going to have to be quarantined forever. I'm not going to get their vaccine. I don't know what's in it. Why do I need to get a vaccine for something that has a 99.75% survival rate? Are you stupid? Why would you take a vaccine for something that has at least a 99.75% survival rate? Probably even more than that, considering all these new cases they've found. Even if they're real or not, it doesn't matter. And like I said, either way we win in this debate, because if there's way more cases and there's way less deaths, that means this thing is not even serious at all. It means all it is an overblown flu, like I've said in so many different news articles and so many videos and so many comments for the last 4 months. Either way, this is BS. Doesn't matter how you look at it, the whole thing's BS. Oh my God, well, people are dying. You're so selfish, this and that. I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. The people are dying they all have other issues. If you look at the age groups dying, it's all old people with problems already. So the whole thing is fake. It's simply not real. This whole thing is an agenda probably to get Trump out of office, to implement their vaccination agenda, and probably to get rid of cash eventually, to crash the world economy, which they've done. Like, how the hell? Like, they could have just, if this whole thing was as serious as they said it was, and if they really cared about people, they wouldn't have crashed the economy. They would have. What would they have done? They could have kept all the people, because they have all the statistics. This is the government. These are medical industries. This is the World Health Organization. They all have billions of dollars to work with. They can hire all the experts they want to find out exactly how to combat this situation without destroying people's lives. But that wasn't their agenda. Their agenda was to destroy the economy, to make Trump look bad, and to make Trump look bad, and just to crash the economy. And like I said, they've had a couple of goals. But the bottom line is this: this whole thing's a hoax created for a multitude of different reasons to destroy our world. How are you going to get the economies back now that they've been destroyed? People have gone out of business, and you're not going to get those small businesses back. It's okay. And the funny thing is, I forgot to mention, I've said this in other videos, but all the time that they had those protests, those riots for George Floyd, Black Lives Matter across the United States. Even here in Vancouver, they had them. Here they had 6,000 people marching. All the time they had those protests, you didn't hear a peep from health officials. You didn't hear a peep from anybody regarding social distancing and all this stuff. They didn't tell you to stay home then, did they? They didn't tell you to stay home and, don't be selfish and all that stuff. They were telling people, sure, go out and protest. It's your right to do. Even our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, was actually out in one of the Black Lives Matter protests with thousands of other people. Meanwhile, the week before, he was telling everyone to stay home. And meanwhile, the 3 months before that, or the 2.5 months, he was nowhere to be seen in the general population. He was hiding. He was hiding because he was scared. But now, as soon as there's a racial issue, he's in the middle of protests. That should have told everybody there this whole thing was a hoax. Why would the Prime Minister of Canada, why would he go out into a crowd of thousands of people and actually possibly get a super deadly virus? Guess what? It's not super deadly, you fucking idiots. That should have been one of the biggest clues that should have made you understand You were hoaxed. But you idiots and you fucking morons always go with your trusted officials. Trusted officials. Yeah, you trust them. Keep trusting them right to your fucking grave because that's where you're going to end up if you keep trusting these scumbags. I know it's hard for you to fathom that this whole world is built on corruption, but guess what? It is. Once you understand that, you can live more so in peace. Sure, it's hard to take at first, but that's the way this world is run. Unfortunately, that's it. Once you understand that, once you come to terms with that, you will understand that. Yes, Tony Fat, Prime Minister of Canada, was in blackface multiple times, and I've actually put that in my videos. But of course, if people don't see it on mainstream news, they don't believe it. Why would they believe some guy who's creating YouTube videos in his home office when they can just listen to CNN, who are professional journalists, more like professional propagandists? A lot of people still don't understand how things work in this world. They will, though, because eventually it's going to be so blatant. Well, really, right now it's pretty blatant, but eventually it's going to become so blatant that people will realize, holy shit, all those conspiracy theorist guys putting out those YouTube videos who are now censored, were right all along. Guess what? Yeah, we were right along. And I'm not even that big of a YouTuber. I'm not that big of a YouTuber by any means. I don't do this for a profession, but a lot of people have been telling the truth for years and years and years. And everybody, all you people who laughed at us, you're pathetic. You're losers. You are losers. You can't think for yourself. And as soon as you see it on the TV news, you trust it right away. You put your guard down and you just listen like a robot and you suck it all in and you don't do any thinking. That's your problem. That's where how you fucked up. That was your biggest mistake, was letting your guard down. Meanwhile, we were posting videos, we were posting articles, we were posting memes, we were having arguments with everybody under the sun trying to warn you, and you guys thought that we were wrong. No, you guys were wrong. You were always wrong from day one, and if you keep being wrong, you're gonna end your life taking those vaccines, and who knows what else. I know it's hard to believe this stuff is real, but at this point, there's so much information available online. Grab a clue, start doing a Google search, start doing a YouTube search. Ask some friends that are posting conspiratorial videos, conspiratorial articles, what they think. Have an open mind, for fuck's sakes. So many closed minds out there, it's pathetic. You've been brainwashed since day one. You've never left that trance. It's comforting to you to let the government do all the thinking for you. Meanwhile, they've been screwing you over right from the beginning, and you're too scared and weak to stand up mentally or physically to the people in power. That's the problem. But it doesn't matter what you guys do because more and more people are waking up every single day, and more people will continue to wake up because this whole thing's lies. Everything's lies. It's all bullshit. And it's getting more blatant by the minute because these people are so desperate for you to believe what they're telling us. The lies and the fear has to get ramped up, and it has to get more and more outlandish. It has to get crazier because people aren't buying the small lies anymore. It has to get crazier for them to keep you in their fear dome, this fear bubble that they've created. They need, like, do you think it's going to end with these the resurgence of COVID-19 and shattering records in these states? What's next? Like I said in videos, what's next? There's going to be more stuff coming down the pipeline because this whole thing will not end. Yes, easy breezy, definitely spiking in Democratic states, and that's just the way they roll because Democrats are the biggest scumbags in the United States. They're the biggest virtue signalers, biggest liars. These people have no morals at all. They're fake, phony people. And like I said before, these people have what I call internet personalities. They act one way online, and then when they're at home, they're the biggest scumbags to ever walk the planet. They pretend they care about black people, and they pretend they care about this, and they pretend that they believe the media and they trust them. But then behind closed doors, or they'll send you a private message saying, "Yeah, I kind of agree with you, but I can't say anything." Oh yeah, okay. So then you have two personalities then, right? Meaning you're a phony. Of course. Hi, Lisa. You're welcome. Everyone's got to do their part. I know you speak out as well. We all got to speak out because this is pretty much the end of it. This is pretty much we're in the end days here. I'm not saying the whole world's gonna blow up, but definitely in the end days. If people believe in the Bible, the Book of Revelations discusses this. No man will be able to walk on the face of the earth without the mark of the beast. Will not be able to buy or sell without the mark of the beast, either in his forehead or his right hand. So we're at that point now. Basically, it's either this year or next year. It's very very close, and these times are discussed in the Book of Revelations in the Bible. So we're living in that time right now. Um, is it a crazy time? Yes. Is it an exciting time? Yes. It's exciting to see all these crooked scumbags squirm. I'm glad they're squirming because I'm so sick of all these people preying on me, my family, people in my neighborhood, people in my city, people in my province, my country, people in my world. My parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents, and great 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 grandparents. People I've never met before, my family, and all your friends and family that are all dead, people you've never ever met. All your ancestors have all gone through this corruption. This corruption has been going on for millennia, and it's gonna stop. It has to stop. Now we're at the end game of this whole situation, and either it's gonna go one way or it's gonna go another way. I believe it's gonna get worse, but it will get better because things are so blatant now that it's ridiculous. And the one thing that they fucked up on, in my opinion, they thought they were being smart by making the internet so they could spy on us and track us, trace us, all this stuff. But it backfired, in my opinion. It backfired because they leveled the playing field. Before that, there was in the 1990s and 1980s, when I grew up here in Vancouver, Canada, there was very few channels. There was only 13 channels now, and they controlled everything. It was easier for them to control things. Now it's way more difficult. It's way more difficult now because, of course, we got the internet. Anyone can post a video. I can broadcast live on something called a smartphone, which is nothing more than a device, a computer, a supercomputer, in my opinion, and I can broadcast to thousands of people across the world, like you guys are watching now. That's how they screwed up by enabling this technology to be let loose into the world. Now, this is going to be their downfall. This will be their demise. They are going to be crushed as a result of their own greed and their own lust for power. That will take them down. It's going to take them down. It is taking them down. It's happening right before our eyes. That's why they're fighting so hard. These people are going down. There's such a small amount of this corruption at the top. It's unbelievable. There's billions of us, and there's only I think it's about 6,000 of them. So you think about 6,000 people compared to billions. There's no way this can continue. Sure, they're trying to pay off as many people as possible, but in the end, it's all gonna come crashing down. How long do you think they can continue on with these just insane news stories? How long? Can't go on much longer. A few more months, a year max, not even, I don't think. Like at this point in the game, it's just gonna come crashing down. Like David Icke said, in the end, it's gonna become so blatant that even just kind of paraphrasing, basically he said that even the biggest zombies in the world are going to see for themselves that the whole thing's a scam. Because if you're trying to like screw people over, and if you're trying to implement this vision of a new world order, and you're trying to implement all this tracking technology and all these different goals that you have. Some of these goals, well, all of them are very bold, but some of these goals are very, very bold. For instance, if you want people to get microchipped, well, how are you going to do that in the end? How eventually you have to tell people about this, and they're going to have to actually understand this. You're going to try to lie to them and trick them and tell them it's for their own benefit, it's for their safety, this and that. But eventually, people are going to be like, why would I want to get tracking technology underneath my skin, injected into me or put into me, whichever way they want to do? Why would I want to do that? And this is where we are. We're almost at that point right now where the end game is very close, and it's going to wake up much more people. Actually, COVID-19 was the biggest blessing we could ever have because they're going for broke now. And by doing that, they're just showing their hand to the world. They're not doing the slow rollout anymore. They're just going full speed ahead, because they're losing, and time is not on their side anymore. On Time is not on their side anymore. So with that, they have to go for broke. They have to do everything they can in a very short period of time. This is like the frog in the boiling water analogy. You put the frog in the water, you turn it up a little bit, and it's warm. You turn it up a little bit more, and it gets a little hotter. A little bit, oh, it's kind of hot. And they keep doing it and doing it. Eventually, it's boiling so much that the frog is in boiling water and he's dying. Well, right now they've cranked it. They've cranked. We were in the lukewarm water for a little while, and they're cranking it up too much now that people are starting to go, holy shit, it's kind of hot in here. What's going on? What are we doing here? Why are we in this pot? How come it's getting so hot in here? That's where we are now. People are starting to look around and ask questions, and nothing is gonna. You can't reverse what's happened now. It's all in the back of people's minds. This is the biggest one of the biggest events that we'll ever see in our life. This actually is the biggest event we will see in our lifetime. What's happening this year, from this day forward, from the last few months since March, all of this are gonna be the biggest events leading to the big event whenever it does happen. Probably sometime this year or early next year. It's gonna have to happen. Um, so that people are waking up, and there's no stopping the Great Awakening. There's no way they can stop it. Sure, people are fighting back and forth. A lot of people just don't want to see the truth of this. It's hard for some people to realize that we've been living basically on a prison planet since we were born and all of our ancestors were born. And it can't go on much longer. They're going to continue on with this hoax as long as they can, but no one trusts anything. I don't trust anything. I haven't for years and years, and there's less and less people trusting things. Now I'm kind of rambling, but at the end of the day, um, let's just go look. Turn that around. See that? It says Florida shatters record with over 10,000 new. But you don't have to be scared because it's all hoax. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling. I just wanted to get that off my chest. When I do these videos, at least my blood pressure goes down a couple degrees. I don't need, at least I don't have to edit this video. A lot of times I'm sitting there putting this video together. A lot of the videos I put background music, this and that. With this one going live, it's a lot quicker. I just get everything off my chest. The other videos, I do like to do them because I put the proof in there. A lot of people, I've made these videos to share with people, and I put the proof in those other videos specifically to show them. So I say something, and all of a sudden, after I say it, I'll put in a video clip, and I'll show Justin Trudeau in blackface, or I'll show him saying that you don't really need to wear a mask, it doesn't help you. I just put the proof in the video so people understand. A lot of people don't believe shit unless you actually show them, here, look, this is where he said this, or look at that, this is where he did this, and this is the evidence for that. You need to do that. That's what I've been doing. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and share this video all over social media. One thing I need to tell you is we're going to win this fight, even if these days are dark. And sometimes I do get down about all this whole situation, not because I believe in COVID-19. I just am sad, and it's a blow to me, all my fellow human beings, people here in Vancouver, Canada, like I said, wearing masks and just believing all this bullshit. It sucks. It makes me, it defeats my spirit when I see humanity sucking up all the propaganda. And it's not everybody, but the masks, a lot of people are wearing masks. I think in the end, though, most people, and I've read this in news articles, will not take the vaccine. And that's their major end goal. If people don't get the vaccine that has the nanochip technology, the ID 2020, smart dust technology. All this shit's in my other videos, by the way. If people don't actually get the vaccine, then their whole end game is going to be crushed. That's their major goal. I don't know if they're going to achieve it. I don't think they will. And if they do, not everyone's going to get it. So we're going to see how that all goes. But anyways, you guys are alive with me in the greatest time in human history. We're living through the greatest time in human history right now. It might not seem like it. It might seem like a dark day because of coronavirus, but in the end, this is the greatest time in human history. I know I'm sick of all this crap too, realm of chaos. It will end. All this stuff will end. We have to go through this because a lot of people are suckers. A lot of people just don't want to see the truth. So things have to become very, 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 very obvious to them. And that's why, in one way, it's great that this coronavirus came out. It's great that they're showing their hand by allowing Black Lives Matter protests. And they don't say anything about that. They don't say it's going to cause COVID-19. They don't say anything. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, doesn't have a peep about that. Governor Newsom, the governor of California, doesn't say anything is wrong about that. All these things, when they do this stuff, they show their hand. And the more they do, uh, the more blatant their bullshit becomes, because these people have been lying for a long time, not just them, but people before them. So now what we're having is we have layers and layers and layers and layers of lies. So what happens then is there's so many lies that they have to keep creating more lies and uh, basically lying more and more to cover up the lies from before. And the lies have to get bigger and more ludicrous as time goes on. And that's why we're seeing all these ridiculous news headlines come out. It's gonna end. It's gonna have to end. There's no way all this shit can continue. No way. People were getting tired of the lockdowns to begin with, and I don't think that many people are gonna really give a shit about COVID-19 cases. You can have all the cases you want. Don't try to lock me down in my house again. I'm not gonna go for it. I didn't go for it the first time, but this time I'm not gonna go for it at all, at all. And think I think a lot of people subconsciously are not going to go for it again. They're not going to fall for this bullshit again. If you guys want to stay home as long as you fucking want. Leave me alone. If you're worried about me catching a deadly disease, thank you very much, but I'm not going to catch any deadly disease because nothing exists. It's all a psychological operation in your mind. This is not a real thing. It's totally fake, and it's a rigged game that we're playing in. And the last thing I'm going to say real quick is that did you guys see the news today about Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's sidekick, girlfriend, uh, pedophile, predator, um, manager who brought in a lot of these young girls and I don't think there was boys, but young girls to Jeffrey Epstein. That whole thing is going to blow up again. Let's see if Ghislaine Maxwell ends up killing herself like Jeffrey Epstein did. It's all bullshit. The whole thing is fake, but that's what I mean. See, this year is getting crazier. So now we've got the shattering records of this COVID-19, and now that was just a couple days ago. All of a sudden, now we're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, and she's been arrested today. She was hiding out in New Hampshire, and she's been arrested. She knows everything that Jeffrey Epstein did. So what are they going to do? Are they going to kill her off too? Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. It's stupid that they even say that he did. The Justice Department, Bill Barr, whatever, stated, "Oh yeah, it's proven that he killed himself." You're full of shit, buddy. You're lying. You know you're lying, and everybody else knows you're lying. So I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get to the bottom of the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, but all that stuff ties into this stuff. Bill Gates is good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He was good friends. He traveled to his island many times. So it's crazy that all this COVID-19 crap, the guy who wants to create the COVID-19 virus is actually connected to Ghislaine Maxwell, the the pedophile who was friends, very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So everything's intertwined, and the world's gonna get crazier as we continue. This year is gonna go insane because satanic pedophiles run this world, and that's going to come out. It is coming out. These people are the biggest scumbags in humanity. They're Satanists, they're child predators, they're pedophiles. They kill kids and drink their blood, all that shit. I don't care if you believe me or not. I really don't give a shit. This is the truth. It will come out. And if you keep listening to your media, you're only going to get half the truth. The conspiracy theorists were right all along, and they will continue being right because this stuff is not bullshit. If you don't believe me, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me because you're the one who's going to lose out in the end. You're the one who's going to be uh, wondering what's going on. I already know what's going on. I've been studying this shit for years and years and years. That's why I'm freaking out now because everything I've known about for so long is coming out now. So the devil worshippers are all going down. Hollywood, all that crap is done. Everything's done. All these people that you thought were your heroes, these celebrities, these government officials, Obama, and all this stuff, they're all pedophiles. These are the biggest pieces of shit to ever walk the face of this planet, my friends. The biggest pieces of shit. But anyways, that's enough for one day. We're 45 minutes into this broadcasting. Spread the word. Share this everywhere. Make your own YouTube videos. Help me get the word. I know it's hard to talk about this stuff. It was hard for me to come out about this stuff. A lot of people uh, made me feel like crap over the whole thing. And that's too bad for them if they don't want to believe it. I know the truth. I'm not an idiot. I'm not crazy. I'm not paranoid. I'm not a moron. My friends and family know who I am. And I'm a sane person. And I have a lot more common sense than a lot of people that I know, unfortunately. Too bad for them. One day they'll see the light. Until that time, they'll be sleeping. But, anyways, thanks for watching this video and have yourself a fantastic night. Maybe I'll do one of these again in the future. Sometimes I like doing those other videos where I edit them and stuff like that, but it takes a lot more work. This is a lot easier if I want to get something off my chest and just vent for 45, 46 minutes. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Have yourself a fantastic day. I'm going to see how to turn this off now. How do you turn it off? Share. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, everybody else. Have a great day. Let's see. How do you turn this off now? Ah. This thing. How do you close that? Save, highlight, share. Let's share. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna close this. Let's just close this.